Welcome back to Minding Her Business. Today, on Mother's Day, I'm joined by none other than my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
My mom is Michelle Sturdy, and I wanted to bring her on because, truthfully, I am so inspired by my mom's journey personally and her career, so I really wanted to highlight that, and I couldn't think of a better time to do it than on Mother's Day. So, hi, Mom.
Hi, daughter.
This is gonna be so weird.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I didn't give a really good overview of who you are and what you do. So can you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
My name is Michelle Sturdy. I'm Taylor Sater's mom. I am a manager at a dental office here in London. I manage two practices. I've been doing that for about 9 years now. So, yeah, in the dental world here in London.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so what I want to highlight is your journey.
Okay.
So you started off your whole professional career as a bank teller.
Yes, so I started very young at CIBC. 19. I was at CIBC. Okay, I worked at CIBC when I was 19 years old as a CSR. I lasted about 6 months, knew that that was not the journey for me, so I started applying to other job opportunities. London Life was one of them. So they had a claim adjuster position and they had a call center position available.
Mhm.
So I applied to both, had an interview with this one lady. You know, we were talking, having the interview, hitting it off. I talked about you, actually. She talked about her child. I walked out thinking, wow, I nailed that interview. And then I went into the second interview for the second position, which was a claim adjuster. Walked into the room, two women were interviewing me. So instantly I kind of froze up and I was, excuse me, super nervous. Didn't think I got the job. Walked out and thought, oh, I bailed on that for sure. So I got a call from London Life, and the position that I did get was the claim adjuster.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so just goes to show, just be yourself and enjoy the journey, and the challenges that you think that you may face are the ones that lead you into the right direction of your path. So that was where my career lasted for about 5 to 6 years. And then I applied to the recession happened.
Mhm.
And should we say that?
Mother.
So after 5 or 6 years, I decided to get into the dental world. And so I started applying knowing that I had the claims background of adjudication of dental claims as plans provided. So I thought, okay, so I know a little bit of dental now. So I started applying to dental offices in London and got a job at Dove Dental, worked there for 6 years, and then moved my way up with some colleagues that worked under the owner of Dove. God bless his soul. He's now passed, but he's been a mentor to many in London. And we've all grown and stuck together as a family, I would say. So that's super important. So now been in the dental world for about 15 years and with Southwood for 9. And so, yeah, so that's where I'm at now.
So, that's actually kind of crazy, and why I wanted to highlight it is because you're going from like a bank teller and what was it, claims adjuster?
Yes.
Claims adjuster to, managing multiple practices is quite the leap, and I think I'm really proud of you for doing that. And also, not only were you doing that just like that, but you had me.
Yes.
You had me at 24, and I'm 23 turning 24. When this comes out, it'll be in like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So maybe even less than that.
Right.
So it's like me having a baby right now, which I truly can't imagine having a child right now. So what was it like being a single mother? Because spoiler alert, my parents are not together. They haven't been together since I was 2,
Yeah,
give or take.
you were 2 years. Yep.
Yeah. So what was it like being a single mom?
Well, actually, I'd like to backtrack a little bit.
Okay, let's go.
Career-wise. Before CIBC,
Yeah.
I worked at a factory. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
I worked at Vitec, vinyl siding. Your father actually got me the position there. He was at Dreamers playing ball with one, I think he was an HR staff member at Vitec siding. and he was looking, said, "Hey, is there a position for my girlfriend in the admin at reception?" And so he said, "Yes, actually, tell her to come in on this date, such and such." And so I did, walked in, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. The position has now been taken and fulfilled with someone else that I didn't know. One of the other managers offered someone else." So but he did make a joke and cracked a joke kind of and said, "Well, we have a position in the factory." And I had my nails at that time too. So I was very girly, and your father looked at me and he's like, "No, she doesn't want to do that." And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, I do."
Was it just to spite him because he
Well,
said you
it
didn't
was
want to do
really
it?
good pay, and just kind of thinking that, yeah, I couldn't manage that.
Yeah.
So anyways, long story short, I passed the 3 months, and I met some really good guys that have worked there for a long time. First, they didn't think that I would be able to do it. The vinyl siding would, back up, and a lot of the men would help the women, the workers there, because you'd have to cut with these pliers and get the vinyl siding back into the machine in a time period, because it's all kind of backing up behind you, and everyone would watch you. So I had some help at times, obviously, but there were a few times I did it by myself. They gave me a little clap. I did the factory work for about 1.5 to 2 years, and yeah, after my 3-month probation, they all kind of gave me a clap across the department in the factory, and that felt really cool. So
Sturtles, I'm learning so much.
yes, I never told you that.
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, it was a short period of time. Lived with one of my best friends at the time, and yeah, it was just continental shift. It was long, and definitely felt really good that I knew that I could work with my hands and get right in there.
No,
and I did that. I
super
succeeded
cool.
for, I think, about almost 2 years it was. Then went into CIBC, then went into London Life, and then dental, and here we are. So
You just got even cooler.
thanks.
So, okay, back to the question about being a single mom, now that we cleared that up and I just learned a lot about my own mother. So what was it like being a single mom at 24? Well, 26, I guess, because 2 years after. But
Well, I
whatever.
have to say, with my core group of friends, they were really there with me along the way. I was the first one out of my group to have a child, a young one, but they still kept me involved very much. They would go off to vacations and video, and often put in the video, "Say hi to our pregnant, best friend back home, Michelle." And from there on, you were like their own. So when you were born, and when your dad and I split, they were there for me. There was a transition period of finding a place, and then so we had resided with a couple of my friends at the time, and it was like a big slumber party. They were super supportive, and I'll never forget that they were there for me at that time. So yeah, and then once I found my own place and moved on, we being single, you just do it.
Yeah.
As a mom, there's no plan. There's no, oh my gosh, I've got this figured out. There's times you think you can't do it. But you just have to keep your head straight and go with the flow, and have a good support of friends. My mother, your Oma, she was very much hands-on in there a lot, as never had a babysitter for you, but she would always, when I needed the help or support, she would be there. So yeah, being young, and single, and a career, I managed it. I had you, your father and I got along really well that way. We co-parented very nicely, separately. After a few years, it wasn't that easy at first.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but that's the maturity part of it that we had, and I very much we have today. So for 20 years later, yeah, just knowing that your dad was there for me as well, and I was there for him. Again, after years had passed, yeah, it just it worked out.
Well, that's something I wanted to note too, is that both of you, I do feel very privileged. And I even say this to people who have divorced parents as well. And I'm like, sometimes I can't always relate to, like, I can imagine, and I'm so sorry if this is the case. And if it is, like, I'm sure there's a reason and everything. But if, like, your parents can't stand to be in the same room together, like,
Right.
that puts so much pressure on the kid to try to, like, navigate your adult parents on, like, how to act with one another. And it just makes life so much more difficult. So I feel very privileged that even though you guys did split, I think you guys are better apart than I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what you guys were like together, but I
No.
can't imagine. So
Yeah.
I feel like I do feel very privileged that you guys were mature enough to do that for me. So thank you both, and Dad, if you're listening, thanks
Yes,
for being nice
thank
to
you.
Mom. After the first little bit, I'm sure both of you were a little nasty,
Me,
but
not so much.
oh,
Oh,
Edward's gonna love that. Okay, so these ones, I'm looking at my questions. I feel like I kind of want to, let's just keep the motherhood train going and then we can
okay.
go back to career after. So,
Okay.
I mean, financially, I'm sure it was a feat. Like, I did some sports and all that stuff. So, like, what kind of toll did that take on you? I mean, it took a while for you to build your career, obviously.
It
Like,
did. You just have to financially manage your income and where you're spending and putting your money and what the wants and needs are. I remember
mhm.
when you were young, you used to ask me, do you remember this?
I remember, but I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
gonna say.
You'd be like, can I have a toy? And then eventually you got used to me saying, and this was crushing as a parent because speaking of managing your money, that you literally have to manage your money. So you'd want a toy almost like once a week or once a day.
Yeah.
And I just said, oh, no, honey, it's not payday. So when it's payday, yes, you can. So then you caught on to that and you would say, Mom, is it payday? Can I have a toy? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So again, those are the things that are memories and you value the toys that you get and I couldn't spoil you tremendously, but I mean you didn't go without either.
No.
And yeah, so financially you have to figure it out and know that it's just you, right? Having that independence and not relying on anyone, having your career and knowing what your budget is and not going beyond that, beyond your means.
I do feel like, though, that taught me, that you don't get absolutely everything in life. You have to work hard for what you want. And I mean, we'll get into a little bit later all the things that you taught me, but I do think it did teach me more that I did have to wait for a payday or something like that. Like, you don't always just get what you want.
That's right.
It's just not the way
Value
life
the
works.
things that you have.
Yeah, and I feel like it's made me work harder for the things that I want
right.
as well.
Yeah,
So thanks.
I did that right.
Okay, on the motherhood train, let's talk about little Huddy. So,
That's good.
yeah, so my mom had me at 24 and then decided she wanted to do it all over again at 42.
Yep. 20 years later.
You send one kid off and then why not have another
Yeah,
one,
we're
right?
so lonely.
It was
So lonely.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about Hudson.
Yeah.
I
He's
know
four.
there was a little, yeah, he's 4 while
He's 4
we're
now.
posting this. So there's something we wanted to touch on, and I think I want you to touch on it now before I get into my questions about Hudson.
Okay.
So when my mom was pregnant, I'm gonna let you obviously tell the story, but I'll intro it a little bit.
For sure.
When my mom was pregnant with Hudson, obviously at that age, it's a higher risk pregnancy,
Right.
and that's a little bit scary. I can only imagine. And
Well, I wasn't scared. The thing is you don't think about that. You
Yeah.
think you're healthy, you're pregnant. So you think, oh wow, my body is obviously healthy enough to handle this pregnancy. But yes, when you dive into it and you meet with the doctors and you get all those appointments going and stuff, it doesn't always go that way.
and I mean, you had I'm assuming like a fine pregnancy with me, like everything. I mean, I'm here, so it obviously went
For sure.
well. So you just don't think, oh, this is going to be a problematic pregnancy or anything
No,
like
you
that.
take things for granted, I guess. Yeah. Like, I mean, you just go into it thinking, oh, everything's going to be okay. So, yeah. So my family doctor at the time, had told, Hudson's dad and I that, it was a Friday. He had called us and said, I have news that, in one of the tests that we've diagnosed that, your baby has trisomy 18. So trisomy 18, you can look it up, but it's where the limbs do not grow. There's a stillbirth. It's called for, not to be so blunt about it, but they ask for a termination because there's no chance of the
No
fetus.
quality of life.
Yeah, no quality of life, the fetus growing really. So that was devastating. You were there too. The three of us.
I remember, not to get in on your story, I'll probably interrupt a little bit more this episode because it's just mother.
Yeah.
But I was at Ali Verhey's house tanning. We were all tanning. I remember it so clearly. And it was weird because I was also, like, full transparency, I was a little weirded out about the pregnancy. Like, it took me by surprise that
No, for sure.
the
And
last thing I
myself.
expected was my mom to be pregnant. So I was like,
Not the happiest at first.
no, I wasn't, to be completely honest. I wasn't the happiest at first. And I don't know, I probably hadn't been like the best, whatever. And then I got that call and I started sobbing. And I immediately went over, and I remember we all had a group hug, just
Yeah.
sobbing. It was very emotional. Anyways, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I was given the phone number for the hospital to book the appointment the following week to have that procedure done. So I remember on social media that I had watched a local London and she's probably, I hope she sees this, and I might cry about it, but she had posted, she was in my age group and had her son, and she told on her story about this Harmony test to get. And it's free for our age group. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. So anyways, I remember her saying Harmony test. So I thought about it over the weekend. Obviously, everything's going through your mind and all the things like, how can this be? And you're almost in denial. So I thought of that, and I thought Monday morning I'm going to call the family doctor. And I spoke with the receptionist, and I said, what about this Harmony test? And she said, well, hold on, let me talk to the doctor. And the doctor came on the phone and said, yes, there is a test. It's $750. I said, oh, why didn't you offer that to me?
Mm-hmm.
And so furthermore, he said, yeah. And I said, and it's free for me, by the way. And he said, no, it's not. And I said, yes, it is. And he put me on hold, came back and said, yeah, it is free for you. Can you go to such and such lab in London and today? And I said, of course I can. So I went there, had to wait another 6 to 7 days to get the results, and got the results back, and it said 98%.
Healthy babe.
Healthy baby. So I called the lab and said, why is it 98% and not 100?
Yeah.
Just to be curious.
Yeah.
And they said, well, because you're not that far along.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, Hudson is born, did not have trisomy 18. So the point of awareness is, hopefully, even if this touches somebody that knows someone that's a little bit older, if you want to get into the depths of, some kind of testing, it's the Harmony test. You can look it up, and that's how it helped me. And I need to say thank you to her, because Hudson's here today because of that. To be honest, I feel that if it wasn't because of me hearing that story on her Instagram, I wouldn't have known any wiser and would have went forward through. So yeah, I mean, sad, but everything happens for a reason, and here we are. We have a healthy little babe, and yes. So
do you know the age cap, like when it's free for people? Is it over 40 or?
I think it's over 40.
Yeah.
I want to say 38. Maybe for sure over 40. I don't know that.
Definitely do your research. Don't trust us. We're not doctors.
Yeah, I'm not an MD, and I'm just saying this is how I had found out too. She just said word of mouth, and yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. So we love Hudson. Hudson's are literally
are we going to touch on how I found Hudson's name?
Oh my gosh, everyone. Let me tell the story here, okay? So I don't know, I'm probably like 16. Like, obviously I'm not like planning on having a kid, but I'm thinking about, you think of baby names, you write in your notes, whatever. I had to have been 16.
Yeah.
So I had Hudson, I think I had Lincoln, I had a couple names in there. Well, now everyone knows my baby name, but I don't think Chris likes Lincoln anyway, so it's fine.
We can cut that out.
Yeah. Not sure. Don't take Lincoln. So anyways, I'm telling my mom. My mom is my best friend. Like, my mom knows my baby names, because the last
Am I
thing.
your best friend?
Yeah. Anyways,
I love you.
The last thing you expect is your 40-year-old mother to steal your baby name. But that's what she does.
I asked.
No, you did not.
Kind of.
No, you didn't. Because I remember so vividly. She goes, "We're gonna name him Hudson." And I'm like, Hudson? Where'd you get that name from? She's like, oh yeah, can I have it? What am I supposed to say? No?
You did come around. Which
I did come around.
I thank you for that. You did come around because, you thought, what if?
Well, yeah.
You're very career driven, and you thought maybe one day. And
well, no, because the thing with that is, okay, Hudson, but then what if down the road, like, who knows when I'm going to have a kid? What if I don't like Hudson down the road? And then I'm like, I didn't let my mom take Hudson. But the funniest part of this, everyone, is when I met Christopher and we started discussing babies and all these things, he liked the name Hudson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Without prompting from me. He liked Hudson. And I'm like, funny story, we actually can't have Hudson because my mom stole it.
Whoops. Sorry, Craig.
But anyways, we have some other names planned. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So that's a funny little story. So a note to all the teenagers and 20-year-old daughters of mothers: don't tell your mom your baby name, because she might steal it.
Yeah, if you're planning to say this in your 40s.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to see what I had here just to make sure I'm hitting all of the things we want to talk about. Wait, well, reverse. Okay. I actually want to go back to the difference between having me at 24 and the difference of having another kid at 42, because I'm sure obviously they're two very different things and two
Yeah.
different stages of your life. And
And having a boy versus having a girl is
Mhm.
very different too. I mean, I would say I gained, we'll go right from the nitty gritty. I gained 60, 65 pounds with you, lost that within 6 months. Hudson, I gained 80, took me 3 years.
But it was COVID,
It was COVID,
so give yourself
all
some
the
credit there.
things. Yeah. So there's that difference.
Hmm.
I would say now, young, Hudson keeps me feeling younger at 47. 47. You get home, he's jumping off the couch. He wants to jump on the trampoline. Mom, let's go outside. Mom, let's do this. We've got hockey on Saturdays at 7 a.m. and then 8 a.m. And, those are the things I don't recall when I had you because you
Hmm.
didn't have those. You had ballet, but it was in the evening or on a
Yeah.
weekend, right? So I would say, yeah, very different. I feel older physically, but he keeps me feeling young. Very different, yeah, for sure. Other than that, I mean, the love, I'm just so thankful that I had time. If you're going to do it 20 years apart, I've had the time with you
Yeah.
solely. And now it's Hudson, and obviously you're incorporated there too. But, um, you know, being with Hudson now for until he's off to university, now I have the one-on-one time too. So there's a bonus of that. But yeah, I don't know. There's not much of a difference in age, I would say. It's just my
Just like how
body.
active, yeah, your body pretty
Yeah, my
much.
body. Yeah, it keeps me busy.
Who's your favorite?
Shh. There's no favorite.
It's okay, we all know it's me. I'd say when you watch this in 10 years, maybe you'll be the favorite then, but for now, I think it's me. But it's fine.
I did have your name tattooed on my body first,
Well, yeah,
but
50 years
now I
ago.
have Hudson now too. Yeah,
That's
I had to
fine.
make it even.
It can be even.
Yeah.
Um, has it affected your career at all?
No, actually, my career I'm very thankful for the leniency of time and hours. And if, I work as being a manager, you're kind of working sometimes 24/7. If you're
Hmm.
getting someone calling sick in the evenings or, office is open on the weekend, you're still kind of working. So having a job and a career that you can step out if you need to, make up the time, being on salary kind of is a bonus too, in the sense, because, I'm very grateful for that opportunity, that I have the flexibility in my schedule.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it hasn't as of yet.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Okay, so now let's go backwards a little bit. So we
Okay.
talked about where we're at now with Hudson. We love Hudson, all those things. But to go backwards, was it hard to balance? We kind of touched on this, but like, was it hard to balance your career growth with raising me?
No,
No?
no, no, because I had a daycare aligned, the hours worked out. You got to stay focused and committed, and I was able to work weekends and overtime. I remember at London Life. So again, no,
No?
the training was during the day, for growth within the company. Um, so there were no restrictions that I had to turn down, at all. But that's just managing, again, the relationship with your father that we had.
Yeah.
And if he had to pick you up because I did have something running late, which didn't happen often, but vice versa, I just knew that that was an option. So not that I recall, nothing sticks with me. So yeah, just yeah, moving forward and
Go me.
managing. Yeah, go you.
Did nothing
Managing
bad.
the work family life like we all do.
So do you ever look back at your path and think, I can't believe I made it through that?
There are times for sure financially, when you are single, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you
You don't have
think,
to get too nitty-gritty about it or anything like that,
no,
but
it's just, yeah, everybody worries about money and
Mhm.
finances, and yeah, when you're single and you're not codependent on anybody and you're doing it all on your own. I chose not to be, and your father and I, that was, an agreement that we had, and something that I took pride in, though, that doing that on my own and
Mhm.
not having, you know, any handouts, and learning that for myself that I could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So from going from me to Hudson now, um, what does motherhood mean to you?
Being there, being hands-on, putting my phone down.
Mm-hmm.
I've realized, all those things can wait, and hands-on time, because now that I've gone through with you and how quickly it grow, like you grow up and you left at 18 and went off to Toronto and university, and I was an empty nester at that time, and honestly, it flies by. And we all say that, but it really does. As a parent, you know that. So because I've done that with you and realized, oh my gosh, I should have done this. I should have done that. We never did Great Wolf Lodge, like the financial things too, that we didn't do. And that goes back to that other question. But also too, oh, I didn't do that. Can I take Taylor now? Which
Well, now
I
you
have
can
thought of
take now
that.
you can take Hudson to Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, and you could come. We could do it as a family outing.
When we have Hudson Jr.,
Yeah.
we can bring them both together.
Can you imagine?
Hudson squared.
Aw. So yeah, so I would say social media and the phone and work and understanding, put your phone down, not having it there. We're all constantly looking, driving, looking, I get in the car with Hudson. Obviously, I'm not looking at my phone, and it's like, how was your day today?
Mm-hmm.
It's our routine. The minute he gets in, I have a chocolate milk for him and a snack. So that's our routine, because we live about 20 minutes away from the daycare. So in that time, I say, tell him one good thing that happened. Tell me one good thing that happened today and one negative thing. I used to do that with you too. I don't know if you remember.
No, I don't.
When you were little, because I want him to understand. I'm not asking that I want every day to be happy, because it's not. And we have great conversations. And he opened up to me the other day and said he kind of was bullied on the playground, like an older kid wouldn't let him down off the playground. And he's like, Mom, I used my words. So, having that conversation and dialogue and that openness, I hope he always remembers that, like the drive home with Mom, and then we're home making dinner, and, just, I would say motherhood for me is enjoying the moment, being in the moment. I go through phases of posting even of my kids, like of Hudson and you and myself, and on social media. And I think, no, not everybody has to see that stuff either. Yeah. Right. So that's for me. I might take those photos and those milestones of what's going on. But just understanding I'm taking a step back sometimes. And sometimes I'll go crazy with it and go, oh my gosh, but here's another post. But
guys, you would not believe how many photos this woman has in her camera roll.
What was it? I think
it's something. I'm a social media manager. I take content for a living. I have content shoots on my phone, and I was like, we had a competition one day. She's like, how many things do you have in your camera roll? And I was like, oh, I've got you beat so easily. And I said it, and like, I think you're in the hundreds of thousands, right?
120. Yeah. I
Yeah.
had to buy storage, but but it is kind of sad. I should print those. No, it's sad in the sense that we're not printing photos. We're not sitting there, but you don't see them on the wall anymore.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of pictures of you and Hudson, and that's great. But they just sit in our phones.
How would you even pick like
which ones?
Your favorites out of 100,000?
Hours.
Days.
Yeah. So that selfie I post, in the car wash, it's maybe 100 selfies before I post that one that I like. So, well, obviously, but.
Or if I FaceTime my mother, I was crying FaceTiming my mom one time. I'm on the phone with her sobbing, and she just takes photos. You can take photos on FaceTime. She's just like taking a bunch of photos of Never a moment that this woman does not have captured.
But isn't it cool when I send them to you and you're like,
not the crying ones?
Oh, sorry, I do remember that. I don't know why I did that.
No, there's been so many things where I'm just like, is now the time for photos? But it's funny. It's a funny joke we have too.
Yeah. It is.
But back to, because I wanted to note with the asking Hudson about his day, there's something I saw online, and it was like, asking him what's your rose and what's your thorn of the day.
Okay.
I don't know where I saw that. Whoever I've seen that from, credit to you. But yeah, it's like asking your kid what was your rose and what was your thorn. So it's like the good and the bad thing, basically.
Yeah,
but just rephrasing it a little bit.
Yeah,
so
no, I like that.
Maybe you can change it up.
Yeah.
I remember when this kid, talking about bullying and Hudson being bullied a little bit, and I think you'll remember this. We went to Apple Land. We used to go to Apple Land every year. We still try to do that with Hudson.
Yeah, it
Now
was our family
yeah,
thing,
so
you
now
know,
we try to
ritual.
bring Hudson every year. But we used to go to Apple Land, and at Apple Land, if you haven't been, they have like these sand dunes, and there's little tunnels in the sand dunes that you can go through. It's like really claustrophobic. I would never do it again, but like back in the day, I loved it. And I remember these older kids. I think I was with a friend. I don't think I was alone. I was with a friend, and these older kids went on each side of the tunnel and like kept us in there.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I came out sobbing.
I know.
Kids are so cruel.
They are cruel.
I know, but I'm thicker skinned now,
I
kind
was
of.
going to trip them or do something. But they even throw sand in their eyes. Just kidding. I'm a mom. I don't do that.
She thinks about it.
But back off. A mama bear.
You are a mama bear.
I am a mama bear.
Yes, she will protect her cubs more than I had something happen. Yeah, this is all just going to be memories, I guess, but I had something happen very recently in business. And
Yep.
uh, I'm not going to say what, but something happened. And she's like, "Do you want me to message them?" No, actually, I can't.
But I'm serious.
I can't have
and
my
I still
mom
will.
message
Do you guys want to take a poll? Should we put up a poll and say, does your mom message them?
No,
Yes,
absolutely
I would
not.
be very professional. But
Mother.
anyway.
So if someone's bad to you in work, I'll message them too.
No,
No,
I can
yes.
handle it.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I'm just being a mama bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're handling everything. And, you know, I know you're asking me the questions, but just to say the way I listen to you and we talk, you know, 5 times a day, and you are going through these experiences and handling it on your own, and that you can. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Mom.
So
Something else, again, these are just all the things that came in my head while you were talking that I let you have your space, but now I'm going to take the floor.
Oh.
I think you were meant to have Hudson. Like, obviously you're meant to have Hudson. Like, we would not trade Hudson for the world, but it was, you know, having a kid 20 years later when you like basically could go enjoy your life without the quote unquote burden of a kid, which Hudson is not a burden by any means. But you know what I mean?
No.
Like, you're not tied down to a location, like I'm gone, all those things, but I think you were born to do so many other things, but you're also born to be a mom, and you're so good at being a mom. And
Thank you.
I think Hudson is so great for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can tell you're going to get emotional.
Yeah, I know, and I'm trying not to, so I'm just going to see what else we have in these cards I didn't touch on. Okay, so I feel like that's all the questions I wanted to ask. I feel like the Mother's Day special is a little bit shorter, but I just wanted to get you on and talk about how proud I am of your journey and what a great role model you've been to me. I like to open the floor if there's anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about.
Can I talk
Anything?
about you and how proud I am of you?
Not too much, but a little bit, sure.
Just
I'll
a
take
little
it.
Well, obviously, me being here today, I'm the thankful one that I'm flattered and honored to be here. When you had asked me, obviously it was a quick yes, and as you remember, I was like, yes, of course. And then as it's come closer to, I'm like, oh God, what have I done? I'm so nervous. But I just love our friendship and our relationship. You are my best friend, and I love you so much. And I look up to you as much as you look up to me.
Oh, here we go. Waterworks, guys.
But I do. Your motivation and your drive that you have, I didn't have that at that age. I mean, yes, I had you at your age, but I guess I could kind of say that I was ready. Like when your dad and I found out we were pregnant with you, the day we got back from Vegas, and as you know, and we had gotten tattoos in Vegas. It was my first tattoo. It was the last day in Vegas, and your dad's like, let's get tattoos. And it was interesting though, I wasn't drinking on the trip. So it's funny how your body just knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember having like a B-52. Coffee and Bailey's or whatever it is, or
yeah.
Kahlua. And I was just sipping on it, doing my little slot game. Anyways, and that was the extent of it. But the day we got back, I remember, maybe this is too personal, but I remember I had thought I was supposed to, you know, have my period there.
That's
on
okay.
vacation.
It's a normal thing.
Okay. It's a normal thing. And I didn't. And then the day we got back, literally we landed and I said to your dad, can we go to Shoppers and get a test? And did I tell you that story? And
Maybe.
Yeah, and so we landed. It was like 2 in the morning, and went and got a test and
You
found
did it
out.
at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and found out that we were pregnant with you, and we cried and we loved it. And I was like, your dad and I had been dating, and he was a few years older. Few.
No one really knows how old
We
Edward
don't know
is.
how old he is, but anyways, he's definitely older than me. And yeah, we were ready, and we ended up being together for 7 years, and engaged and all the things. And I wanted that life. Like I was ready for that. I had moved out when I was 18. So and I moved out at an early age, and worked a couple jobs on my own. I worked at Jack Astor's as a hostess with the mostess, and worked at Zehrs as a cashier when I was 17. So, that even backtracks before Vitech and CIDC and London Life and dental. So, yeah. So, I mean, at 24, I was ready to have I was just like, this is it. This is my life. And so, yeah, anyways, so yeah, other than that, the question was again.
Well, you can say it now because I'm 23, almost 24. I can like there was no doubt in your mind that you guys wanted me. Like it
There's
wasn't like
no
there was no
doubt.
conversation.
No, there was no doubt at all.
Really?
Yeah. We literally cried and hugged, and that was that. So
Wow.
we weren't planning,
Well, yeah,
but
no, yeah.
like, I mean, when you're in a relationship and you're dating, I mean,
Sorry, Keith. I just hit the mic, guys.
oh,
Let me fix it. There we go. Technical difficulties.
testing 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
So, actually, I was stating about how proud I am of you, and yeah, I kind of went off track there, but as at this age, at your age, I had you, and yeah, so your drive now is a different life path, and I love to see you excel in your career, and when you were working your day job, and you had, can I say Xonify in Kitchener?
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah.
when you were working your day job,
Yeah.
and you came to me and said, Mom, like, I love that you come to me and ask these things, or just like mention it to me. I'm like one of your best friends, and I know you're calling your girls too, but I'm also included in that conversation piece, and that means the world to me. I want to kind of step away from this 9 to 5 job and open up my marketing company. And I thought, good for you. This is the age. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always support you. And I love that you have all these ideas, and the ideas that you have in the near future as well that are coming down the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. And your journey with Chris, both of you being so independent and motivating each other. And I love to see your love and the love that you have of your career and just helping others. And like I said, asking me to be on a part of your segment on the Mother's Day. I'm flattered to be your mother. I'm honored. And
I'm gonna cry, guys.
but
Thank
so I wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you. I think disclaimer, I think I'm getting my period, so I'm extra emotional, and I'm already a very emotional person. So this next part, I wrote it down so I didn't have to like think of it right off the top of my head because I have some things I want to say. But this special segment is I'm gonna cry. Is the things that you don't realize you taught me. So
Oh, I don't even know.
yeah, so there's so many things that you've taught me. I'm just gonna read off the cards because like I'm actually gonna get emotional. Some of the things that you probably don't even have an idea that stuck with me. So I made a little list of things you realize you taught me, but really that you don't realize you taught me, but really shaped who I am. So how to be independent even when another path makes things easier. Let me grab my little tissues that I got here, guys. That no matter how hard things get, there's always a way forward. You just have to keep going. Oh God. And the kind of relationship and friendship that I want to have with my own daughter one day.
Oh,
And then, this is a great one for what's happening right now. That being strong doesn't mean holding everything in. You showed me that it's okay to cry and still be powerful.
that's right.
Success doesn't have to come from a perfect path. You can be your own version of it. And then how to find humor in chaos and laugh even when things feel a little overwhelming. And that motherhood isn't about being perfect. It's just about being present, real, and full of love. So anyways.
And when you're in the wrong, I know I still call you and tell you I love you.
I'm never in the wrong. So mom's always in the wrong. But yeah. Thanks for watching me cry or listening to me cry.
That was beautiful.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you more.
So
Can
yeah.
I keep that card?
It's 2 cards, so yeah,
I'm
you can keep
I'm
both of
gonna
them.
cry.
It's so, guys, I'm gonna show you a little bit. It's so ghetto. It's just taped on. But yeah, so I don't know if you meant to teach me all of that, but or if you even realized that you did, but those are all the things that
I
stuck.
didn't. I had no idea that you felt that way of any of those things. So,
And I just wanted you to know.
well,
So
thank you.
happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Happy
Go
Mother's
go hug
Day.
your mom and
Put the phone down.
yeah, and
But
if
not put the phone, grab the phone to look at the episodes and watch Taylor.
and if you can't be with your mom today, just think of her, or if you're able to, give her a call or honor her in some way today. Um, yeah, I'm very thankful that we have such a great relationship, and I love you so much.
Can I
And
have a hug?
not on camera, it's gonna hit the mics and stuff, but after, yeah.
I'll slither through.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Thank
Happy
you.
Mother's Day, and
Thank you for
until
having
next
me.
time, yeah, bye.
Bye.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. I did not see you. Babe.